Let's get into Twitter. Thought this was interesting. It's from El Jefe. I just want to check and make sure I'm good so you guys can read it. Okay, good. It says, another subprime lender likely to go tits up. Angel Oak Mortgage Inc., which went public last year, disclosed a net loss of $52.1 million in the second quarter and $43.5 million in the first quarter. CEO Robert Williams was shown the door. It says Angel Oak Mortgage, the publicly traded non-QM mortgage REIT, late Friday disclosed it received a 2-week extension on financing facility it has with Barclays Banks. The new termination date is October 14th. Had 20% layoffs 2 days ago. They had the CEO shown the door. Not good. Not good. You're going to see this more and more in the marketplace. You're going to see consolidation. You're going to see people lose their jobs. And to me, it seems like you got to, when you're going to do any of this in real estate, what I've noticed, I don't know if Wall Street doesn't understand real estate. Okay. At least residential real estate. I don't know if they're like suspect of it. They've never really figured it out. They like the 30-year mortgage. They like the mortgage part of it. They like the fixed financing. But I don't think they've ever been really understanding of like anything else. I mean, tremendous failure in real estate with public traded companies. But I've learned that when you're going to do, like, you got to have the narrative. Okay. So, like, if you're a brokerage, okay, you don't go to Wall Street when the market is terrible. Okay. You don't start a brokerage when the market is terrible. You start a brokerage when things only look like the charts are going up at a 45-degree angle. That's when you start your real estate brokerage. And then during that time, it should be a period of easy money. So you should be able to find angel financing, venture capital, and you should be able to use that money to recruit agents to your brokerage. Okay. And this is just me. If I were doing it myself, the brokerage would have something to do with what we would call a black box AI, black box artificial intelligence. We wouldn't use artificial intelligence. The word we'd use AI because you can sell that better. Okay. And then so everything in this business is about, we've got this AI that can find buyers and match them with sellers at a faster rate than anyone else. We have a technological advantage over the entire marketplace. And I bet you, and by the way, you don't use that money that you're getting from venture capital for the AI because that's a scam. You're using it to recruit agents to come to your business so that you can either inflate the revenue for the company or inflate the agent count. I'm just saying, like, if I were going to start a business, I would start it during the boom, and this is how I would do it. And by the way, this is timeless. This is timeless. I can do this every time the market goes up. Okay? If I do it just right, if I make a name for myself on the first one, I can do it again, and no one knows what I did the first time was an absolute joke. There are people out there that have been riding these coattails in at least the last 15 to 20 years. I've seen them, and they just bounce around from company to company, and they never ever get hit with the actual stench of failure that they created. Anyway, that's what you do. If you're a mortgage company, I don't know that business well enough. I'm just telling you how to do a brokerage on Wall Street and take it to its fullest possible place. It's got to be during a hot market. Anyway, what happens to your brokerage when people don't like your growth? Because, by the way, your growth is going to suck because you're not paying for new agents now and you're burning through cash. Do you go out of business? Do you merge with someone else? We'll find out, won't we? I think there's about 3 brokerages that I would say have dicey propositions should the market go where I think it's going. And that's I mean, in the end of the day, it's kind of interesting, you know. The agents control the business. And by that I mean they're the ones out there generating the revenue. It's not the brokerage. It's not the brokerage. And it's not somebody on top of the brokerage. The brokerage is good at collecting fees. Okay. That's what they're good at. They're not good at doing deals. So for the most part. So, you know, to me, it's going to be fascinating. Now you can ask the question, John, are you going to benefit from other brokerages going out of business? I don't think so. In my brokerage, I have kind of two distinct paths that I would take. One, like, I like real estate agents. Okay, don't get me wrong, but my goal has always been to practice real estate, to practice the actual helping people buy and sell real estate. That's what I like to do. Okay. Running a brokerage is like herding cats. I mean, there are personalities, outsized personalities in every single direction. And I would end up fixating on those stress points or trauma. I say trauma because they actually could cause trauma. And I wouldn't be doing the real estate business. I wouldn't be conducting my business. So I would have to have like a manager come in to manage all of the agents. Okay. So that's one angle. If I were to do it, that's how I would do it. Two, if I get busy enough, like this situation right now, Robert's helping me. He's in another brokerage. He's not coming over to my brokerage. That's fine. It's not a slight. I get it. At some point in time, I might have to hire someone as an agent to show houses for me, to help me out on the back end. But that wouldn't be like 15 agents, you know, because that's not the business that I want. I want everything to flow through me in my brokerage. If I go in that direction, I'm just telling this. It's, you know, 9:46 on a Friday night, and you're watching a Realty stream. You might as well know what I'm thinking. I'm not hiding it. Anyway, so this company, Angel Oak Mortgage, I've heard about them. They ate it. Like Redfin a couple months back shuttered some of their mortgage stuff. It's going to continue. We saw that article from Wells Fargo cutting a couple people out of their Iowa branch. Don't be surprised. I thought this was interesting. I don't know if it's accurate. Okay, don't at me. It says the housing crash via inventories by state. It's clear that the West Coast, which has seen a huge population inflows, are now retreating in housing construction, hitting the market. P.S. I live in Arizona. It's always been a boom bust state relative to rates, especially Scottsdale and Phoenix. It's very fragile. That was my last time the market went haywire. I had a friend that had her parents' house was in Arizona, Phoenix, and it was exactly like this. Okay. So big crash, inventory surge, Arizona, 129%. Missouri, no crash, inventory down. Tennessee, 73% inventory surge. Florida, 54%. Hard to believe, isn't it? Don't you? Inventory growth decline year over year. But just look at this chart now. Let me make sure you can see the chart. Okay. This is why real estate is so hard. I mean, look at how varied the no crash, the inventory down versus the inventory surge is. I mean, you would think that people were moving from California to Texas. You would think that people were moving from I don't know, anywhere, New York to Florida. But I mean, it's not that way. I mean, just because you think that, when you see it, it's like all real estate is local. All real estate is local. You know, if it wasn't obvious to you before, it is now. You should check in with me every once in a while. I mean, I'll tell you what I think based on my market, but obviously, if you're working in a different market, then you know more than I do about that market, and you should use that advice. Moving on, thought this was interesting. I think this is interesting because this does not indicate a seriously terrible market. It doesn't even portend to a bad situation. It actually looks really, really positive. This is the mortgage serious delinquency rate, which decreased in August. The serious mortgage delinquency rate, I believe, is 3 consecutive months of non-payment on your mortgage. I mean, not bad. Let me just say this. If we look here, I think you can see my mouse. If you look here, you can see right after the Rona, a huge spike. My own personal opinion is that was a test. That was people that were testing the situation and seeing if they could get away with something. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying everyone in the aggregate was testing the market and seeing if people were going to catch them on paying their mortgage. I'm saying there were probably some, more than some, more than a couple and more than a few. Many, not all, not more than half. And when they found that there was no sympathy for that path, I think that people went on to pay their mortgages. That's my opinion. You can say I'm wrong, and I'm okay with that.